Welcome back to another Decoy Builds. And what did I build this week? Why, I built a spaceship. Well, not that amazing. I did take it a step further. I haven't seen anybody who's built a spaceship go through the trouble of building a spaceport with a landing pad. You know, really bringing the whole thing together. And yes, I do have astronaut headache here. Mostly because the ghoul ride was just too much. He would not get off of that ride for more than 5 seconds. It was maddening. So our first little stop's like the little spaceport shop type area. Little workbench storage area back here. Of course, we had the table and chairs on the other side. Various things on shelves, always nice. But I really love where I have like my merchant set up. Though there is a slight problem, and while it looks amazing, you can't interact with the register. For some reason, it's a complete invisible wall that you can't reach through and interact. Which kind of sucks, but it's a little interesting at the same time. There's definitely, well, okay, well that's distracting, isn't it? I mean, it just works. Just barely. Again, astronaut headache. Oh my gosh, I only really had 2 valid options that would fit this build. And ironically enough, both of them get pretty darn annoying. So down here, another little workbench type area. And then we've got a pipe feeding up top that actually feeds into where the Collectron hangs out. Trying to put a little bit of thought into how certain things work. Now, my fugly ship, like super ugly, but hey, it is actually floating. But not floating like most people do it, where it's way up in the air. I mean, it is just barely floating. In fact, the ramp that you go up, while it is making contact with the ground, it is not supporting the build. Now inside, of course, we've got the little cockpit area right here. And you can actually hop in the chairs, and it gives it a really neat look. I don't want to hop in the chairs, though, because it turns into a mini game of grab the bar stool to get back out. Now off on this side, we've got a little storage area set up. A little workbench. Nothing super fancy. Now, of course, there's a large section of the ship that is inaccessible, mostly because I've got my exhaust going on back there. And if you're wondering, yes, the bunk beds work. You can hop in the top bunk, bottom bunk, doesn't matter. Got our valiant pilot. So, it seems like a rather weird thing to build. It doesn't really fit in with the whole lore and all that, but, you know, this is what happens when you play a little bit of No Man's Sky and then hop back in to build something. You're like, well, what am I going to make? Well, I'm going to make a little bit of No Man's Sky in Fallout. That's what I'm going to do. Now, if only I could use some of the building tricks from No Man's Sky, like being able to, you know, rotate objects on every axis. That would be freaking amazing. Now, I'm trying to give you a little bit better look at how ugly my ship is, but it's really hard to do. If I ever build another ship, I'm definitely building it different. But that right there, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. As usual, please remember to like, sub, and share. Later.